Ah yes, the Nexus SummerSlam. Well, we've talked about this main event quite a lot over the past few years, haven't we? And with good reason, because the decision to have the Nexus not only beaten, but laid to waste by Super Duper Cena remains one of the most dunderheaded booking calls of the modern era, which is a shame, because SummerSlam 2010 was pretty hype. Don't believe me? It's the night that got Cameron into wrestling. Yes, SummerSlam 2010 was a show with the infamous Alicia Fox versus Melina match. We are witnessing history, boys and girls. I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about SummerSlam 2010. Number 10, a women's tag match was scrapped. Aside from the Melina-Alicia Fox 6-star classic, and it really was, it got Cameron into wrestling, additional women's action was planned at 2010 SummerSlam. Michelle McCool and Layla were to team up and face Kelly and former ECW GM Tiffany. However, a week before the pay-per-view, Tiffany was arrested after a domestic altercation in a Los Angeles hotel room after she'd attended a Playboy Mansion party with her partner. WWE suspended her indefinitely and scrapped the match. The company was also reportedly not happy that she went to the Playboy Mansion without seeking approval, as that kind of activity clashes with their new PG product. Tiffany never resurfaced on WWE television and was released that November. She since turned up in TNA as Taryn Terrell. Number 9, the IC match was supposed to be a 6-way. The SummerSlam 2010 opener showed promise, an intercontinental title match pitting champion Dolph Ziggler against challenger Kofi Kingston. After Ziggler's coming out party against Rey Mysterio 1 year earlier, fans expected excellence from the two top workers. Sadly, a Nexus beatdown of both men after 7 minutes snuffed out that hope. However, early plans for the match were for it to be a 6-way that would have also included Christian, Cody Rhodes, Matt Hardy, and Drew McIntyre. Promotional material sent to Sky Sports in the UK had this matchup listed. One theory as to why it was scrapped is that if the Nexus were going to run in and destroy the combatants, it might look more realistic to destroy 2 men instead of 6. Number 8, Joey Mercury tore his pec. The once brilliant straight-edge society was entering its death throes when CM Punk, Luke Gallows, and Joey Mercury were set to take on the Big Show in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Show pinned Gallows and Mercury to end the match after less than 7 minutes, and that's a flatline. The demise of the group coincided with Mercury suffering a nasty injury during that match. Gallows revealed in an interview in early 2015 that Mercury tore his pectoral during the course of the short match. In the Society's final appearances over the coming weeks, Mercury did appear on SmackDown with tape around his shoulder. Number 7, announcers claim Sheamus had never beaten Orton. You knew that SummerSlam was going to be sold on one match and one match alone when Sheamus is defending the WWE Championship against a man he's already faced at the Royal Rumble about 2 or 3 feuds earlier. And now babyface Randall got another crack at Sheamus' belt. It was a decent match that didn't hit its groove until the final minutes, although the crap finish kept it from being anything special. The match is a bit notable for one of those wonderful WWE narratives that gets twisted for their storytelling convenience. As the action was getting underway, it was noted that Sheamus had never beaten Orton before. Cry and nerd alert if you wish, but not only had Sheamus defeated him via DQ at the Rumble, but he pinned Orton in a handicap match on the go-home Raw before WrestleMania 5 months prior to SummerSlam. I think you'll find. Number 6, the Great Khali was originally on Team WWE. 5 legitimate full-time wrestlers were on a 7-man WWE team for the main event. John Cena, Edge, Chris Jericho, John Morrison, and the Prince of Sorrow, R-Truth. Bret Hart, working in a limited capacity during his nostalgia run, took the 6th spot. The 7th originally went to the tall Great Khali, though those plans changed when Khali was written out with a knee injury at the hand of the Nexus just 6 nights before SummerSlam. WWE decided to make the change roughly 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. There was no real-life injury of Khali's to write an angle for. Khali even wrestled the night after SummerSlam on Raw with no mention made of the injury. Clearly, the change had nothing to do with him, but instead, number 5, Daniel Bryan was called back a fortnight before. It remains one of the most groan-worthy firings in WWE history. Daniel Bryan, as a member of the Nexus, was let go in June 2010 for strangling Justin Roberts with his own necktie during the initial attack. The internet firestorm raged uncontrollably as an underground hero turned WWE blue chipper was done in by WWE's not always consistent guidelines of political correctness. For WWE's part, they reached out to Bryan less than 2 months later with a plan to bring him back. Whether it was a fan backlash or just WWE waiting for everything to cool down after the choking, John Laurinaitis called Bryan less than 2 weeks before SummerSlam with a plan to make him the 7th man. Number 4, Bryan's return was spoiled. Upon being rehired, Daniel Bryan was told to keep his return a secret, as it would no doubt stun the viewing world once he emerged as Khali's replacement. The day of the pay-per-view, Bryan was rushed into the Staples Center in clothes that concealed his identity, and he met with a select few performers from the match to go over plans. Most of the Nexus guys were given generic instructions involving a mystery man, but told nothing that would give Bryan's return away. It was code red level secrecy, all that just so WWE could blurt out Daniel Bryan's return on Twitter more than half an hour before the main event. God damn it. Number 3, Y2J and Edge took umbrage to the main event. According to Chris Jericho, it was Vince McMahon's idea for Cena to be the sole survivor of the 7-on-7 match, even as Jericho and others felt that Wade Barrett needed to go over in order to keep the Nexus strong. Justin Gabriel, for his part, claims that Cena himself had the finish changed to him winning. Gabriel clarified that he bore no ill will towards Cena, that it was simply a bad call from an otherwise keen professional. Jericho and Edge took further umbrage with Cena's idea that Barrett needed to DDT him on bare concrete just before Cena's Superman comeback, where he would pin Gabriel and then make Barrett submit to the STF. Jericho felt Cena needed to barely survive in a more realistic manner, but Cena was insistent. Jericho would also claim that in the aftermath of the show that night, Cena admitted he was wrong about how the finish was orchestrated. Number 2, John Cena has not won at SummerSlam since, so everyone was very cross about John Cena being booked to stand tall and, in the eyes of many, hinder the careers of 7 men. Well, the Gypsy's curse is strong, and when you anger the gods of SummerSlam, you must be punished. Since that fateful night, Cena has gone on a losing streak at the biggest party of the summer, failing to win against CM Punk again, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles. If he comes up short against Baron Corbin, which I just don't know, then Cena will have lost one SummerSlam match for every Nexus member who was beaten that night. Sheer poetry. And number 1, the main event was the longest match in SummerSlam history. When the first 3 out of 6 matches of SummerSlam 2010 combined for less than 20 minutes of ring time, you knew at least one match was going to be given epic length. The 7-on-7 was that match, even with the relative inexperience of the wrestlers on the Nexus side. The match stretched out to 35 minutes and 15 seconds, a SummerSlam record that may never be topped. The previous mark was set in 1994 when Bret and Owen Hart's Steel Cage Classic for the WWE Championship clocked in at 32 minutes 22 seconds. So there you have it, only 2 matches in the history of SummerSlam have cleared the half-hour mark, and Bret Hart was in both of them. He truly is the excellence of execution.